Warning, this content may be disturbing to some audiences. Subscribe. If you dare.
My college girlfriend cheated on me with her boss during an internship, but got busted after trying to arrange a sleepover with him while talking to me on a webcam. Hey everybody, welcome to ANECDOSED. People ask Reddit. Cheating in a relationship, how did you catch them, how did you get caught?
Number 1.
The first time I found out was when my girlfriend had a roommate that turned out she was effing for rent and cocaine. The second time was right after my girlfriend moved in with me in a pretty bold move as she was without any place to stay. She effed the bartender she worked with 2 weeks after that. I forgave her, and then months later she went out and kissed friends of mine and sat on their laps while I was home asleep because I had to work the next day. I broke up with her then. The third time the girl I was dating was secretly dating a hippie behind my back. I am glad she cheated on me. She turned out to be a real bad person. The fourth time I was seeing a girl for about 6 months. I saw her in a picture on Facebook at a restaurant with a guy. She denied that she was at dinner and they were just part of a big group. I found out who the guy was and called him. They had been dating for 5 months. She had sex with both me and him unprotected. Before you say it, yes, I'm a dumbass. I learned my lesson however and live with 2 cats.
Number 2.
My, now ex-wife was spending a lot of time with her sister off drinking, partying, etc. Looking at the phone bill I saw a ton of text messages to and from one number but couldn't get the actual messages, and I knew something was up. I got her a special present, a BlackBerry phone, and, look honey, it's hooked up to the server at home so we can share calendars, etc. I was able to get every inbound and outbound text. Use this info to interrupt her having sex, in my house. With some dude. Divorce filed immediately thereafter. Bought cheating bitch a BlackBerry hooked up to a best server at home, instant full logging of all text messages.
Number 3.
Dated someone for 7.5 years, and she dumped me one night, February 6th, with no notice, no discussion, no options but begging to remain friends because she couldn't imagine me not in her life. About 6 weeks later, she pops out an email saying she is dating another guy. But 3 years later, she writes a note on her Facebook page celebrating her 3-year anniversary with her new boyfriend, now fiancé. She lists the anniversary date as January 26th. Caught by her own Facebook entry.
Number 4.
She got a second job bartending so we could put in hardwood floors to replace the carpet the 2 dogs, 2 cats and her 2 kids had destroyed. When she started, she'd get home around 2:30, 3 o'clock Amish. This slowly started getting later and later, so sometimes she'd walk in at 6:30, change her clothes, and head off to her day job. I started getting paranoid when she wouldn't need a nap after working all night, and then all day. I mean, she had to sleep somewhere. The final breaking point was her daughter's 15th birthday. She was having a slumber party, and had 5 or 6 friends over. House was full of screaming teenage girls, so I was hiding out, trying to stay out of the way. The phone rings, and she disappears outside. She comes back in, saying it's her work, and she has to go in. On her daughter's birthday, in the middle of the party. Great. She tells her daughter, who obviously flips out. She heads into work, and her daughter and her friends bolt out the door. So now I'm driving around in my big black work van, trying to find 6 to 15-year-old girls. Not as fun as it sounds. Finally get everyone home and movie watching, and go to bed. She strolls in at 6:30, changes her clothes, and heads to her day job. In the process of getting ready, she had dumped the contents of her pockets on the bed. When I woke up, I grabbed a slip of paper she had left. It was a receipt. For 2 packs of smokes, she didn't smoke, a bag of Reese's Pieces, and 2 bottles of wine from 11:30 the night before. Every part of me wanted to go into a blind rage. But I love those kids. There was no way I could put them through that. So I didn't mention it, and kept my game face up until Monday. As soon as she had left for work, and the kids had gone to school, I packed everything I owned into my van, and left. Never saw her or her kids, or our dogs or my cat ever again. Went and lived in the back room of a friend's motorcycle shop for 6 months. It kills me that the kids probably hate me, but I'd rather have them hate me than know their mother was a cheating whore.
Number 5.
Commenter. My girlfriend of 2 years during college decided to take a summer internship in a company about 700 miles away from where we lived together in college. Neither of us had a ton of money, so visiting each other often was out of the question. Being that we grew up in the age of technology, we opted for webcams instead. Again, reverting back to the broken college student part, we bought cheap webcams because, well, they were cheap. The audio on the webcam sucked, so we would go on MSN or something similar, mute the webcam and then just talk over the cell phones. It was nice at first, being able to see the person you were talking to, but about 2 months into the internship, things started to change. So, one night while I was talking to her on the phone, she said she had another call and put me on hold. Well, being kind of suspicious at this point in time, like I said, you could tell things had changed. I turned the volume up on the computer and saw that she had not muted her microphone, and I could hear her side of the conversation that went something like this. "Girlfriend, no, I can't come over right now, I'm talking to Chris." That sounds like a good fake name for me. "Girlfriend, I don't care that your wife is away, I'm not sleeping in your bed. Girlfriend, just come over here, we can F and then you get back home before your wife notices. Girlfriend, just bring him over too then." Referring to his 1-year-old son. Well, at that point in time, I am still on hold, but I type something into MSN like, "I need to talk to you now" or something like that, and she hangs up with him. Well, needless to say, I found out that my girlfriend of 2 years was sleeping with her boss that just had a kid. His wife didn't know, until I called her about 2 weeks later after drinking one night. Anyways, being the stupid kid I was, I thought I could fix it with money, flowers, etc. And looking back, I'm so thankful that it did not work, as my wife, different girl obviously, and I just celebrated our 1-year anniversary last month. My college girlfriend cheated on me with her boss during an internship, but got busted after trying to arrange a sleepover with him while talking to me on a webcam. She was still offered a job there after graduation. Person B. How did you told the wife? Commenter. When she confessed, she told me his name, the guy that she was cheating on me with, so I googled the company she worked for and found out his last name. I knew what department he was in because he was her boss. So, one night after drinking with my buddies, we googled his name and found out his home address and phone number. So, I called, from my buddy's phone, and it went about like this. Him, hello. Me, hi, may I speak with Nancy? Him, yes, can I tell her who's calling? Me, yes, my name is Chris, we're friends from high school, she'll know who I am. Silence. Nancy, phone. Her, hello. Me, you should probably tell your husband to get tested, I'm pretty sure he spent the last couple months effing my girlfriend.
Number 6.
Came home from working and late and found the other girl's truck parked in my spot on the driveway. I'd suspected it for months but hadn't been able to prove it. He didn't know I was coming home as early as I got there, I guess. The guy and I own the house together, having been dating 3 years. Went inside, found her and my, now, ex-boyfriend naked in the guest room with boots on the floor. Yes, I live in Texas, still drunk, telling me it's not what it looks like. I ran out, grabbed her keys off the counter and threw them down a storm drain right outside our driveway. Came back in and found them very hungover trying to get dressed and telling me to calm down. He told me they did it in the guest room because they were drunk and thought I was sleeping in our bedroom and didn't want to disturb me. Seriously, I'm not making this up. I walked over and slugged my then boyfriend in the face, told her good luck getting home, as her keys were down the storm drain and she didn't know it yet. Then I left. He ended up marrying that girl a year later, and then getting divorced 6 months after that. And that's my story. Only time I ever punched anyone.
Number 7.
I had been dating a guy for about 1.5 years, so I became very familiar with his friends and coworkers. I became particularly close to a girl named Beth who was dating my then boyfriend's best friend. One night Beth asked me to have a girls' night, which I excitedly agreed to. We went out for coffee and drinks, and she opened up to me about how she was concerned that her boyfriend may be cheating on her. We talked and talked, had a good time. Since we had been drinking, we figured it was best she slept over my house that night. Before we left the bar, though, we ran into my then boyfriend who started acting very cold around me, but not so much around Beth. On the way to my house we texted him to see if he wanted to hang out, mostly due to Beth's persistence. When I arrived back home, I checked my messages, I think on my space, I feel old, and found a confession from my guy informing me that he had slept with Beth a few times while we were together. And there she was, reading over my shoulder going, oh shit, oh shit. I stayed cool and told her she could still sleep over because I didn't want her driving, but she literally ran out of my house. I should have beat her ass while I had the chance.
Number 8.
Caught my last girlfriend cheating by taking a bit of a gamble. I'd suspected her effing around with another guy for months, condoms in her room I'd never bought, seeing text messages that weren't completely innocent, not damning, though, her bringing said guy up in random conversation. Basically, I knew it without knowing it. So one night after chatting with one of her friends and finding out from the friend about the guy sleeping over at my GF's place a few months back, during a brief relationship break we had, I felt like I had enough of an inkling to fib a little bit. At this point I call the GF and demand she tells me what happened last week, no more lying. She claimed to have no idea what I'm talking about, and I told her about how one of my coworkers lives in her apartment complex, true, and heard loud sex coming from her room, false. Loud sex? Sounds believable, knowing my ex, but false. She breaks down crying and admits to effing around with the guy even since we got back together dating months back and lying about it every time I brought it up, the idea that I didn't trust her with this guy. She didn't tell me because she didn't want me to find out because it might hurt our relationship.
Number 9.
I was the one caught. This was 2 exes back, by the way. She's the only girl I've ever cheated on. I was caught in the stupidest way possible. I left my cell phone at her house. I'd had a month-long fling with one of my coworkers about 6 months earlier and she had sent me a few naughty texts/pics. I broke it off because things started getting weird at work and I felt like shit about it. Anyways, months passed. I was an idiot for not deleting those texts and pictures. I'd slept over at her place and I'd woken up late for work and rushed out of the house, leaving my phone on her nightstand. At lunch, I got a phone call and she said that we needed to talk and wouldn't be very specific about anything. I got busy and I forgot about it a few minutes later. As soon as I walked through her door, it was like nuclear winter. I tried to turn it around. Why are you looking at my phone? But that shit was so feeble that I was embarrassed I even brought it up. She dumped me, cut off all contact, deleted me from Facebook and keyed my car at work one day. Make sure to share your personal story in the comments below and have the opportunity to be featured in a future video. Also, if you like these topics, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification button to continue seeing more content like this every day. See you next time.